In this video I presented to you my custom sprite viewer. One of its core features is the ability to reload all images from the specified directory dynamically. It works fine, but there is one small improvement that can be made, namely loading graphic editor project files directly. Right now it can only load PNG files, but you see, when working on pixel art for my game, I'm not relying just on PNGs. PNGs are just end products. They are used by the final game build, and only PNGs are shipped to players, probably in some compressed and packed form, but when actively developing, it's best to keep project files too. Aseprite, the graphic editor which I'm using for pixel art, stores its project in Aseprite format. This software, like many others, supports layers and keyframes. This is very useful for making different animations, as I can move body parts freely and preview the final animation directly in the editor. All the information about layers, keyframes and probably much more is stored in the Aseprite's project files. All this data would be lost if I just kept PNG files. My usual workflow when I was working on Pumpkin Man looked like this. I edited the sprites, then I used the editor export sprite sheet feature, which generates a single image from all the keyframes, and then I put this sprite sheet into the final atlas. This required a lot of manual labor, so I decided to shorten the path from editor to game engine as much as possible. The only thing I needed is for my engine to recognize Aseprite's files and load them as any other textures. This format, as you may guess, is custom and developed by the team behind the graphic editor. Its specification is publicly available, and it is possible to write a parser that would read such files directly. Unfortunately, this would be time-consuming. Luckily for us, the Aseprite supports a wide range of command line tools. One of these tools does the same thing that the export sprite sheet feature does. We can run Aseprite exe with the -b option. This option prevents the application user interface from starting. Then, as the next argument, we provide a path to the project file we want to export, and then after the -sheet we specified where the resulting PNG file should be exported. Executing this command will produce exactly what we want. In my engine code, when scanning the assets directory, if Aseprite's file is detected, then there is background process started, which runs a command exactly like this one. In the end, it works really well. I can edit the sprite in the editor and see all changes almost immediately inside the game. There is no need to copy or export anything. The only disadvantage of such an approach is that it's required that Aseprite is installed on the system on which development is done. But as a solo developer, this isn't an issue for me, as most of the time I'm working on the same machine. That's all for today's video, a bit shorter than usual, but I was chasing some other ventures in the meantime. The next video will again have the usual format. Thank you for watching, subscribe for more and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll be back in 2 weeks with more updates. Have a nice day!